Hey everyone, and welcome to the Schuylkill Report. Yes, we're back with all of the great things that are happening in Schuylkill County. But before we even get into the show and tell you all the great things that are happening, I want to do a little homework here, okay? First of all, for you who are just tuning us in, you know we're on channel 13 and 513 on Service Electric Cablevision. And in the greater Pottsville area is Comcast 190. In the Wilkes-Barre Mountaintop area, we're on Channel 92 every Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 11 p.m. Now, if you recall, Schuylkill, the Susquehanna Polling and Research did a scientific poll as to, well, who's watching us, all right? Well, we're very happy to say that no one is producing as many local neighborhood programs as we're doing, such as this one. 56,000 people watch the Sam Lesante Show every week. These are numbers that are scientific polls, 32% increase in the Wilkes-Barre area. Why? I think not because of me, but because we're presenting shows like this. My email is sam@ssptv.com. I'm very happy to have the executive guy here who really produces the show for me, and my good friend Jerry Enders. Jerry, it's nice to be back, and I want to thank some of the advertisers. I'm sorry, but I want to get this in.
You jump in there.
I'm happy to say that we got Explore Schuylkill back, and that's where we are today as one of our sponsors. Jerry's Northeast Auto Sales, this guy right here. He's been in business a zillion years. You want to buy a used car, I see this. And my good friend Bob Weaver Chevrolet, who's always supported local programs. Vito's Coal Fire Pizza and Restaurant. I don't have to tell you about how great that restaurant is. And attorneys Christine Holman and Alexis Falbello. Pottsville Eye Specialist, one of the great supporters of local programming. So I want to thank them for supporting the program. Jerry, how you been?
Good, Sam. Yourself? It's nice to be back.
I missed you.
I missed you too. Season 2025.
Yeah, it's like, you know.
We had a long run last year. We took a little time off for the winter.
Yeah.
And regrouped, and now we're back. And people always ask about the Schuylkill Report and what's coming up. And
well, we have a good show for you today, but
yes, we do.
But you know, it's funny. I was talking to my wife and I I think we're at Boyer's supermarket, and we're talking about when we're running the Schuylkill Report, and we're talking about the different things. The lady said to me, she said, you know, Mr. Lesante, it's interesting. She said, I just moved in I used to live in New York, and she lived in New York for I think maybe 40 years or whatever, and she had relatives in our area. Long story short, she said, I lived in the city for 40 years. She said, you know, I never went to see the Statue of Liberty. You know, I never went to see the museum.
Yeah.
And she was saying the different things she never saw.
Right.
So when we talk about the Schuylkill Report in Schuylkill County,
right,
there are people that living in this county that haven't seen maybe, and I'm one of them, 80% of what's happening, and thank God for the, Explore Schuylkill. So don't you find that interesting that in our backyard we have so many great things?
Well, actually I do, Sam, and there's so many people. I mean, I'm involved with Savas here. We're going to have them on in a little bit. I've been on the PADCO board for over 20 years, and I always love going to these events, whether it's a ribbon cutting or something from the chamber, and people shake your hand. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? How's everything good? How's carving good? He said, you have the museum. I said, yeah. I said, you know, I've always wanted to get there. He said, wow. Well, we've been open 28 years. Where do you live? Pottsville. Well, if you always wanted to get there.
You're right down the street.
And I hear, and it is a little frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you want to, you could go any Friday, Saturday, Sunday from May to October. But you're right, and there's people that say, well, I've never really been to Yuengling either. We have so much to do in our own backyard and in our county. That's the point you and I are making. You have Hawk Mountain, you have the Pioneer Tunnel, you have Yuengling, you have Jerry's, you have all these great restaurants in our, you have Vito's, and you have Carmela's, his brother down there, and all these great restaurants. There's so much to do. And I really wish more people would, I know it's human nature to travel, but they talk about going to Reading to eat. And I'm thinking, my gosh, we got the Brick House. We got so many restaurants right here in Schuylkill County, the train station up there in Tamaqua. The variety that even I haven't gotten to all of them, Sam, you know, and they're out there. But, so many people say to me at events, Oh, so you're the museum guy? Yeah. Oh, I got to get there.
And when they get there, they can spend a zillion hours there.
They tell me that.
You
yeah.
have some things. We have some upcoming events coming up. I think are interesting. Discuss those before we bring Savas on.
Well, we got the Film Fest coming up, which that is going to be something Savas is going to talk about. And that's going to be May 30th, 31st, and June 1st.
What happens there with the film?
Savas has put together a whole package. I'm going to let him talk about that. Okay. He's even bringing in some people from The Sopranos. And you might want to be there. Bring that Cadillac of yours down. We could use it for chauffeuring around there, Sam. You know, don't turn red.
My 1993 Cadillac.
There you go. And anyway, so that's going to be great. And Explore Schuylkill is a big sponsor of that because it's tourism.
Yes.
It's going to bring a lot of people to the community, put people in the hotels. It's going to be a 3-day event that Savas and the PADCO organization has been working on, and it's Savas's program, and he has a great team of people on there. And it's going to be short films, other films, local films, films from Penn State that they've made, you know, the amateur films and all.
In Schuylkill County as well, and we have the Visit Luzerne show report as well for Luzerne County. And here again, when we do that show, right, we get the same kind of response. Wow, there's so many things happening. When you take Luzerne County and Schuylkill County, you could spend years going to different places, like you said.
Absolutely.
You know, what I find interesting is that, you know, and I'm one of these people.
Right.
I'm going to start with me. You're hesitant to go to these different places. You know, you're hesitant. You know, if you're going to New York City, you're going to go and see the Empire State Building, or you're going to see.
You have a destination.
Yeah. Right.
There
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it.
Right.
So, but here, you know, you don't have the destination. But once you get, like your place, not but your place is fantastic.
Right.
Your museum
Right.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
When they said Jerry's Museum, but when I got there, I said, wow, this place is amazing, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's what I find with the tunnel and Yuengling. Don't you find the same thing? But I think you hit the nail right on the head, Jerry. A destination.
Destination. I had folks there. I'm not there every day. I have some volunteers that work the museum. But I was there one day, and a nice guy came in with his wife, and I always say, well, where are you from? Well, we're from up near Niagara Falls, up from Buffalo. I said, wow. I said, what brought you down here? Well, it's our anniversary. And I love car museums, and I found yours. I knew Yuengling was here. We're staying at the bed and breakfast right here, the maid's quarters. So they came from Buffalo to Pottsville, but he had a destination.
Right.
And they spent the whole weekend here in the Pottsville area. Yeah. But they were at the museum for hours, taking pictures, stayed right at the bed and breakfast, went to Yuengling. They suggested where to go eat. I sent them up to Vito's, you know, because they're right here. And you're correct. I mean, but this was their destination.
You know, it's interesting. My friends, the new book here, the Schuylkill Adventure Guide, I would suggest, I'm going to do this, is you look at this and pick some areas and make them your destination.
Right.
And say, you know, this Saturday or this Sunday or whatever, we're going to go to this place, and this place, and make it a destination. Maybe call them and see if you know what they're all about or whatever. But there's things to do here, a zillion things to do. It's amazing.
I'll hop in there with you. Last fall, Janet and I said, well, let's do something today. Let's go up to Sleepy Hollow. He's on our board here, a winery over in Ringtown. We went up there and we had the best afternoon.
I can imagine.
We drank some wine. They had a food trailer there, food truck, had a nice little lunch. And we just had a lot of fun right there in Ringtown, where I hadn't gone for several years. And the owner's on the board here with us on the Visitors Bureau board. But we made it, we're doing it today. We made a destination. And we had a ball.
See, and I think, my friends, and just get in touch with the Schuylkill, Explore Schuylkill here.
.org,
it's the same thing with Visit Luzerne. I mean, you know, you go to both their websites, it tells you a great number of things. But we have.
I have to tell you this now. I want everybody to know out there watching and listening, exploreschuylkill.org, we have a brand new website. It is phenomenal. We just had it built the past year. It's phenomenal. You can click on there, Sleepy Hollow, hit it, then location, what do they do? It gives you
Fabulous.
everything about each one of our members.
That's great.
And you can see you can see their times, their product.
Perfect.
So we really have a great website now, along with
That's great. That is absolutely, because now you know what you're going to do,
Yes,
and
sir.
et cetera, and then you could plan your day accordingly. Okay. Hopefully the warm weather coming in. I mean, we got wrapped this year with cold weather.
It was horrible. It was horrible on all our businesses, the restaurants. I talked to Vito and all our friends, and everybody's been slow. But now, hopefully, we have signs of spring, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know whether you want. Do you want the 6, 8, 10 inches of snow and decent weather, or do you want the freezing weather in the 18, 15? I don't know. It's
Well,
like
what restaurants were telling me, and I experienced it in the car business, people just weren't going out. It was so cold and windy.
Exactly, yeah.
And when it's cold and windy, if you have children, well, you go home and it's warm. Do we really want to go back out?
Yeah.
I know. And one other thing, Sam, talking about the museum, really proud of this. I mentioned it this morning. We had a PADCO meeting. Our museum, unknowns to me of how it happened, but we are listed on the top 10 car museums on the PA bucket list. Things to do.
Wow.
And I was scrolling through on Facebook and came up with this, and I said to the staff down there, Janet, I said, yo, we're on here. So we're on the PA bucket list of top 10 museums in Pennsylvania.
And Jerry, I'm not surprised.
And
I think what you've done with that place is just absolutely phenomenal.
Well,
really.
thank you, Sam. And you're always welcome to be there.
Yep. And now we have coming up Savas Logothetides, who is the executive director of PADCO. What does PADCO do? What's it all about? There's a lot of great things happening. But once again, I want to thank some of the sponsors that sponsored this show. Explore Schuylkill, we're happy to have them back on again. Pottsville Eye Specialist. My friends, they have locations all over the place. You couldn't find finer doctors. And of course, Jerry's Northeast Auto Sales. The guy's been in business a zillion years. The interesting thing is when you're buying a car, the owner's there. And the owner's always been there, and that's important. Speaking of cars, Bob Ruger Chevrolet, one of Schuylkill County's finest. And of course, my good friend Vito Valent, Vito's Coal Fire Pizza and Restaurant. And attorneys Christy Holman and attorney Alexis Favela. We want to thank just some of those many sponsors. The Laurel Mall, okay, been with us for many years. Probably one of the most astounding malls now in not only Pennsylvania, but 100% occupancy. We'll be back right after this. Well, welcome back, everyone. I'm Sam Lesante, and this is the Schuylkill Report. Yes, we're back with my good friend Jerry Enders, who is my co-host here and executive producer of this show. Gets all the stuff together for me. I appreciate that very much. We were mentioning about some of the sponsors that sponsor this show, and certainly, we have a media sponsorship with the Republican Herald and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. They've been absolutely gracious to us, and hopefully you'll continue getting their paper. Now joining us is Savas Logothetides. Did I say that right? Logothetides.
You did. Logothetides. You got it. You nailed it.
I nailed it. Now, and Enders is easy. I mean, Jerry Enders, Smith is easy.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. So you're the executive at the PADCO. You may know this guy from the zillion restaurants he had. Pottsville Area Development Corporation. For those of us who I've been here since 1999, 2000, Jerry, with the show.
Oh yeah, with Explorer, the bicentennial, everything. You've been around. Well, you've been with the cruise since the
That's right.
90s.
So so I know what PADCO is all about.
Sure.
But for those people who don't know what PADCO does and what it means, why don't you tell them what it's all about?
Sure. So PADCO, or the Pottsville Area Development Corporation, is a designated 501c3. It is an economic development entity, focuses on a number of things, including technical assistance for small businesses, as well as the underwriting of loans for small businesses, either for creation or sustainability within the city limits. Most recently, though, as of January 1st, we've expanded to 15 additional municipalities in southern Schuylkill County: Deer Lake, Cressona, Orangeburg, West Brunswick, South Manheim, North Manheim, St. Clair, and some others. And we're really excited about the impact that we can make in southern Schuylkill, as well as what we're already doing in Pottsville.
When you say impact, in what respect?
Yeah, so really the facilitation of small business, right? So when we look at small businesses and we have people who come to us with an idea, we help them get from concept to opening their door, right?
Yeah.
And what that does indirectly, it's creating jobs, it's eliminating blight because we're putting businesses oftentimes into buildings that have been vacant or off the tax rolls. We're creating more tax revenue. So there's a lot of different things that we're providing indirectly through entrepreneurship in the county.
Let's hit on this one here, which you were responsible for creating, the Launch Pottsville, where last year in our first Launch Pottsville, we have created so many new businesses. I'd like Savas to tell you about the amount of money that has been generated into the city.
Yeah, so Launch Pottsville was a great program. In effect, it was a business plan competition.
Right,
so we started with 15 applicants. We narrowed it down to the final 4 after approximately 20 weeks of intensive curriculum on entrepreneurship, on practical entrepreneurship. At that final presentation, we had the final 4. And the chopping block, an axe throwing venue and bar, and also Rage Parade, a skate shop and alternative apparel, were announced as the winners. However, Arrow Student Events, they also ended up opening. So it created 3 small businesses in a 6-block radius in downtown. We were, with our partners, were able to invest $175,000 into this competition.
Wow.
That money leveraged $1.4 million in development downtown.
And this is money, Sam, they don't have to pay back.
Hence what you're saying about how PADCO's in to develop that, and of course the benefits. There's so many benefits, not only tax dollars, but there's additional benefits. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, the creation of jobs, the elimination of blight. We're offering goods and services, as Jerry touched on. Instead of having to leave Schuylkill County, they're being offered in Schuylkill County. But this competition was so important for so many reasons, but it also showed the great partnerships, with the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Pottsville, with the Northeast PA Alliance, with the Chamber of Commerce, with SEDCO, everyone working together to get these projects off the ground and create these great businesses. And all three of those businesses went into buildings that had been vacant for between 5, 10, even more years. 2 of them were more than likely going to be blighted and scheduled for demolition, but we were able to save them.
And that's what he's doing this year. We have another Launch Pottsville coming up that he's working on. So we have, and this will be the arts and entertainment one. And I think Savas can elaborate a little more on that. But with these ideas and putting money out, financial help, Sam, is what these people need. Like some of the businesses, I won't name them outright, but I had the one owner of the new business say to me, Jerry, if it weren't for the Redevelopment Authority in PADCO, we wouldn't be open because we didn't have the seed money enough to invest in the business. So now we got a building restored and solid business with hiring people and jobs and paying taxes. And that's what's happened from PADCO. And PADCO, I've been on PADCO for over 20 years with John Riley. And back when Mayor Riley was in and all, it was all about creating and helping businesses in downtown Pottsville, and Savas has moved it to another level by helping and moving to other communities.
Yeah, so, I agree with Launch Pottsville, and one of the reasons it started, right, is you hear constantly from aspiring entrepreneurs that access to capital is difficult. They don't know where to go, where to access it, and we can help navigate that for them, right? We can create the partnerships with multiple organizations or entities. And a lot of traditional institutions, banks and such, they sort of stay away from startups, where we embrace the startups. Our mission is to get them going, get them off the ground, and get them open.
Okay.
One of the things I found, being here is the fact that, I wish I had a full-time salesperson, but when you're looking at revenue and you're looking at, promoting, we have opportunities via the paper, and I guess this is a plug for what we do. We're producing this program, which is a neighborhood show. Mm-hmm. You don't find too many locations that have these kind, other than maybe once a month, et cetera. But with that being said, we try to encourage, Savas, is to keep that word out. Jerry promotes, you promote it, et cetera. But my question to you is this. You've been around, you've done a lot of things here in town. Why have you designated all of most of your time to PADCO? Because, I mean, unless they're paying you a tremendous amount of salary, okay?
He's overpaid.
Yeah. I'm just saying, same thing with Jerry. I mean, Jerry has two businesses and is on top of it. But so the public knows, what's in it for you?
Yeah. So, as the executive director, I'm able to work with entrepreneurs and businesses on a daily basis. And as a former entrepreneur myself, and still an entrepreneur, I still do own some businesses, no longer in the restaurant industry, but getting to work with entrepreneurs and helping them has become, it's not only my business, it's also my passion now, right? I love teaching. I love watching them open their doors. I love walking into their business and being able to talk to them about the successes they're having, helping them navigate the challenges or barriers they face on a day-to-day basis, because I've gone through it, and being able to teach that and being able to watch them succeed, I get great gratification from.
That's what it's all about. You see, you said that word passion, and there's a lot, and I found out in both in Luzerne County and in Schuylkill County, Savas, guys like Jerry, when what Jerry did, okay, and a lot of his team, what he did with the cruise, and the millions of dollars that they were able to generate, but not only that, their camaraderie and getting people together, and he's excellent in doing that, but he always gave praise to everybody who worked with him. But they were great days for this town. I mean, they were.
No, absolutely. We had 35 volunteers at the big meetings. You remember, Sam?
Yeah.
And Sam was a major part of it, but as he said, you don't ever want to forget. You should never forget to thank the people that are helping you and making you. You can't do it alone. Yeah. And there's so many organizations that'll do something, then the head person, they think it's all about them, and they forget, and pretty soon it falls apart because they didn't thank this one or the other one or somebody else. Hey, I really appreciate what you do. Thanks. I hope you'll get on board again. We always did that, Sam.
Yeah. Some of the board members, who are they? Some of the board members.
Yeah, so we've got a great mix of board members. We have representatives from all of our local legislators, from the city, from Explore Schuylkill with Mr. Enders, from the Schuylkill Economic Development Corporation, from the Chamber of Commerce, from the Pottsville Redevelopment Authority, from multiple different banks. We've got former legislators on the board, the Majestic Theater. So there are a number of great board members that comprise
participation.
Our organization.
Wow.
And they're all volunteers.
Yeah, and you have SEDCO, you have the Schuylkill Community Action, we have our own solicitor and attorney, so very diverse. We have bankers, so we can really hold
How big is the board?
we have 20
members.
Yeah.
And when you have
very diversified, Sam.
I could see, which is great. Now, you meet once a month?
We do.
Yeah. And
we do meet once a month.
And you have a variety of people of different inputs coming in. The legislators are the local legislators that are
We do. So they're non-voting members. So we have 20 voting members, and we've got about 6 non-voting members.
and it's a nonpartisan.
It's nonpartisan.
You go on there with creative ideas, and you don't care whether you're a Democrat or Republican.
Right.
And I've seen this in the many years I've been around. The demise of towns, the demise of townships is when they want to play politics.
Mm-hmm. Right.
When politics gets involved with a city or a township, and they only want to vote for Republicans or Democrats, that town is going to fail. That town eventually fails because you have this selfish interest. And I'm glad to see what, of the years I've been here, I've seen some things that I didn't particularly like, but however, being around guys like Jerry and I met you a couple times, and a number of people that are here, we want to get rid of those egos. I don't know if you run across them, but I've been around a long time.
Yeah, we do our best to circumvent, political motivation for sure. And the only way that we succeed as a whole is if we're all rowing the boats in the same direction.
Exactly.
Right? So that's the only way to actually accomplish our
Anything in
goals.
closing, my friend?
And Sam, with that, you remember back in the day we had Amy Burkhart and a few other directors, and Savas came along after we went through a flurry of failures. And Savas came along and said, well, look, I will help you out, and I'll do it as a part-time position. And he just helped us grow, and PADCO started coming together. We got some new board members, And we got together, and he said he'd consider full-time, and we made an agreement and a deal, and
Good.
And having a full-time director like Savas that knows financing, how to get money, how to work with the CDC and all these government things to bring money in and funding, he's done an excellent job.
Well, you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, no, I enjoy what I do every day. Even the 6 a.m. wake up calls from my good friend.
Call him early
Oh, that's
sometimes,
good.
yeah.
Well, I wish you the best. You know, Jerry and I with Schuylkill Report, we're available as things happening, and he certainly will be on top of it because he's doing a great job putting the shows together. For me, I'm doing these other things. We're here for you.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Mr. Enders, do I have to call you Mr. Enders now?
Just Jerry.
Oh, okay, Jerry. Okay. Remember, my friends, I want to thank our media sponsors, which is the Republican Herald and also the Standard Speaker, and certainly thanks to Explorer Schuylkill. It's nice to have them back as a sponsor. Pottsville Eye Specialist, Jerry's Northeast Auto Sales, Bob Weaver Chevrolet, Vito's Coal Fire Pizza and Restaurant, and attorneys Christine Holman, attorney Alexis Falbello, and the Laurel Mall. These are just some of the many sponsors we have that are investing in local programming. We'll see you next time.